Hi there, welcome to Lovin Sheila. We're back again. It's April. We're well into this month, and I've started my regimen, trying to be on my total health care and making sure I don't miss a beat as far as my skin care, hair care, drinking water, exercise, teeth whitening or tooth whitening, whatever you want to call it. Just doing all that. So just trying to be on it. So that's what I'm dedicating this month to, ladies. And let's all just get on board and remember, as well as taking care of our physical well-being, our spiritual well-being, our mental well-being. We also got to take care of our outward self and take care of all those little things. So I just want to encourage you to do that as well. Now, as you know, we've been discussing our soft girl era. We've been talking about the delicate flower. And if you don't know, go back and look at some of our previous episodes about the delicate flower where I express that I'm a delicate flower. And anyone who deals with me or has personal relationships with me has to understand that's who I am. And as it relates to love and relationships. And with the delicate flower, as with any type of flower, as we learn how to care for it, we have to learn how to give it what it needs so that, we have to learn it. We have to learn what to do. If it needs air, how much water it needs, if it needs to be outside, whatever, or inside, or where it thrives. We need to learn how to deal with our person, or for me as that delicate flower, and help it to nourish it and to help it to thrive. And so that's what we've been talking about in our previous podcast. And so for me, as far as relationships go, I want to center this on relationships and how, as a delicate flower, we can proceed, like how I guess I would proceed. Because in the past, when I was so-called courted by a man, and I wanted to get a definition of court, because sometimes I feel like what we think is courting women and what men think is courting is not quite the same thing. Because there was like a previous relationship, he told me that he was prepared to court me, and as I reflect and I go back, I'm like, was that really courting? If so, we all need a lesson. I need a lesson. He needs a lesson. We all need a lesson on what courting is, because I think we missed the mark there. But in addition to that, though, I feel like what I'm saying, I guess, is he kind of missed the mark, and I wasn't very good at doing whatever and expressing my wants and needs, I guess is what I'll say. I feel like I was led, and it was a point where he expressed to me that he wanted us to be in a committed relationship. And I don't know necessarily that I was ready for that, given the state I was in at that time, where I was. But I kind of acquiesced. I was like, yeah, he's cool. I like him, and let's do this and let's see how it works out. And we had a good relationship. We got along well and whatnot. But I know that I wasn't the delicate flower. And like my girlfriend, she often says tumbleweed. She compares it. The opposite of a delicate flower is a tumbleweed. The tumbleweed is something that just rolls around in the dry desert, and it doesn't get any nurturing, and no one cares about it. It's kind of an eyesore, and it's a pain in the neck. Basically, you want to keep from running it over or whatever. But you know, that's the difference. You can treat your woman like a delicate flower, or she can be a tumbleweed. And so, what I want us all to understand, especially when it comes to, for instance, me, I'm going to stick with the delicate flower. I'm going on that route. And as a delicate flower, and what I think about when I say that I was led with him, I think maybe I may have been a victim of this. Oh, he chose me. He picked me. He wants to be with me. And I don't think I quite thought about exactly in detail what I wanted and what it would take for me to be happy in a relationship. I just kind of, like I said, acquiesced. And I was like, okay, then we'll just, kind of figure this out as we go, I guess. I wasn't necessarily prepared for a relationship, but I was willing. And so I participated and even fell in love along the way, you know. But what I realized is I was not designing or choosing a mate that fit what my wants and my needs were. And I think a lot of it was because I didn't have all of the information I needed to make that type of decision. And I will be frank, at this point in my life, I'm not here to waste my time. I mean, time is valuable, and I like to find the right person and not spend a whole year with someone and realize this is not quite it. This is not what I'm looking for. So it's important to do your research, to gather information. You know, I have kind of put like a 4-month kind of guideline for myself. Okay, I need 4 months to kind of gather all the information and see if this is something that works for me. And in particular, is this person going to make, do I see myself happy with this person long term? Is he going to make me smile? Is he going to make me laugh? Is he going to be comforting in my times of trouble and distress? Just how is he going to contribute to my life? Because it's important. And how is he going to invest in getting to know me? I mean, we could spend time and you can give monologues and you can tell me everything you want to tell me. But are you really trying to get to know me as well? Because how can you love me if you're not spending the time to get to know me? And so that's where I want to like focus on. It's beyond just pick me, choose me. It's like making sure that we as women are getting what we want in a relationship and getting the partner that we want, that we can see ourselves with long term. Because I think I'm good enough to be picked. I mean, I would pick me, right? I love me. I think it makes sense. But how does that love impact my life? How does it contribute to my life? And these are the questions that I've had to ask and I've reflected on in my previous relationships. Like, how did this relationship contribute to my overall well-being and happiness and growth, mentally, spiritually, emotionally? How did it impact me? It's important. So those are things that I think we need to know before we enter into relationships. We need to spend some time communicating and getting to know each other and laughing and sometimes crying and having conflict and overcoming conflict and getting through it and see where do we land on the other side of conflict. Are we closer or are we further apart? All these things bear examining before we commit to any long-term relationships. This is where I stand. But in the process, when you've been chosen, like I was in a previous relationship, and they were picked, at the same time, I need to know like that my delicate flower is going to be taken care of. And so that means for me, like chivalry, we talked about that. Chivalry is not dead. For me, I'm just waiting for someone to show up, not empty-handed, just as a token. Like Usher said, flowers, cards, and candy. I don't necessarily love flowers and candy, not my thing, but it's the effort, it's the care that was put into it, so it's like flowers, cards, candy. I do love cards. Like, how do you think about me? Those are important because that's something that can continue throughout the relationship. So that's just opening doors and putting me in cars and taking me out of cars and all these things. It's like chivalry is not dead. So that's part of the delicate flower. And I don't think we can't miss that. And I think as women, these are just basic things. So basic things that I think even I struggle with because I don't get it. I mean, I get the doors and all, but I'm talking about the flowers, cards, and candy. It's not like there's a steady flow or anything like that. But these are things that I'm not going to take down on my standards, nor do I want to give anybody the blueprint because I don't necessarily want to train you how to love me or to show care for me. I want you to observe and I want you to be led in your spirit to do these things. I'm not necessarily giving out the the blueprint for everything. Because if you care about someone, you're going to study them, and you're going to be aware, and you're going to want to fill in the gaps, because that's what I would do. So that's where I am. Just kind of wanted to say, ladies, we're beyond the whole pick me thing. It's not about picking me, because we're here, we're on Lovin Sheila, and we are loving ourselves, and we are choosing ourselves, and we have picked ourselves, and we know how to take care of ourselves, and to do the things that we want to do when we want to do it. We know what we like, and we spend our time creating that life that we want. So we have to make sure that whomever we bring into our lives, they're adding to that, they're enhancing it, they're contributing, because we're going to contribute all this love that we have. We're going to contribute this back to them, but it has to work both ways. And so I think as we study whomever we're involved with, and they study us, then we'll learn how to better give each other what they need. But what I'm saying to you, ladies, is just because he chose you doesn't mean that you have to acquiesce like I did in the past. It doesn't mean you have to be like, yeah, I'm here. Now what? Make sure that you are being circumspect when you're evaluating these things, and that you are getting what you want, and you're communicating what you want, and there is no ambiguity. Because, like I mentioned before, ambiguity leads to situationships, which most of us grown people are trying to avoid. And it's a tricky road, hard to navigate, but together with information, we can do it with some observation and some care, and some really tuning into who we are and what we want, and how our previous decisions may not have been the best thing for us, or we may not have made the best decisions. That's another mantra of mine right now. I have it written on my wall: make good decisions, because I've made some very poor decisions in the past, and every now and again I'm prone to make another one. So but just what we are doing is being mindful, and that's what I want to remind you of. You're worthy to be chosen. You're worthy to be loved. So walk in that and know that. And so when you receive it, don't act like, oh my God, he loves me, or he chose me, or he picked me. Yeah, I would pick you too. You're that woman. You're her. Okay? Like we said last week, be her. You are her. So don't be surprised. You're beautiful, you're magnificent, you're wonderful, you've got all that pulchritude, and yeah, they're going to choose you. So make sure that you're choosing wisely as well. Remember, you're a delicate flower, and that um, we are here to be known as that, and to have someone care about every aspect of who we are. And likewise, we can do the same. That's what I want to leave you with today. Keep loving you, you know, love you even when someone else is loving on you. I mean, like, it never ends. Take care of yourself, do you, and create the life that you want. And I will see